I always like to just start with my story because that really just kind of gets into what I do. It's very much a part of who I am. So when I was 4 years old, I was diagnosed with a learning disability, and I had a really hard time in school, and my parents had no idea what to do. So they did what most parents do. They, took me to the doctor, and doctor said, "Hey, he's got this learning disability, and let's put him on medication." So literally at the age of 4, I was prescribed a stimulant medication. And the stimulant medication did help, but it wasn't the solution to my problems. And so my parents said, we've got him on the medication. What else can we do to help him? And they realized that I needed an outlet. I needed stimulation. So they got me involved in soccer and basketball. And when I started doing those really high intense sports, my behavior got really a lot better, way better. And so they figured out pretty quick, like when Daniel has this outlet, he thrives. So I also figured that out. When I started having that outlet for myself, I loved it. It made me feel better. I didn't feel so anxious all the time, and my mind just not always going a million miles an hour. I felt like I could control that. So at an early age, I just fell in love with fitness, exercise, started working out at an early age. I used to ride my bike up to the YMCA every day. And it's funny, they say that people with ADHD, it's like to give you a perspective of what it's like to have it. They say it's like operating a Corvette with no brakes. That's what they say, and that's so true. And the reason I say that is because when I was younger, I had a blue dyno bike, and I also had a jigsaw. And what I did was I took that jigsaw and I bought blades that cut through metal, and I actually cut the metal brakes off of that blue dyno. So I had no brakes. So I was riding my bike up to the YMCA in middle school with no brakes. And that's just so funny because that's who I am, right? And so started working out in the middle school, YMCA, high school. I got in a lot of trouble in high school. So I still had that outlet, but I couldn't really make friends in high school, couldn't really fit into a particular crowd. So I started hanging out with all the bad guys, and they gave me attention. They approved me the way that I thought. And so I just started doing stuff that they did. So that meant drugs, women, all that stuff. And I got heavy into that stuff, and I took it to the extreme. So my senior year of high school, I overdosed on drugs, almost died. I was put on a gurney. They handcuffed me to the gurney because I was having seizures from this overdose. And my parents said, we've got to get Daniel help. So I enrolled in an inpatient rehab program, got sober. Then I got into bodybuilding and started abusing steroids. So at least no drugs, right? I think it's better. I don't know, but that was my mindset. It was like a healthy drug, right?
Which,
Yeah, I
yeah,
switched. That's all it was. So
yeah.
it's the same root, just different fruit, right? That was for you, Karen. Did you like
Thank
that?
you. I like the root fruit. I like it.
I don't have many, but so then I got sober, started doing the bodybuilding, and really just fell in love with fitness. And around the same time, somebody from church actually invited me. Somebody from the gym actually invited me to church, and he said, "Hey, Daniel, I know that I know we've never at this point we had never met." He said, "I know we've never met, but I really feel like you're supposed to come to church with me." So I went to church with this guy, and ended up getting radically saved, and really just being introduced to a God that unconditionally loved me and accepted me even in the peak of my addiction. And started getting mentored at church.